Good morning. Happy Saturday, everyone. I am, because it's the end of cherry blossom season, going to do some cherry blossoms in a glass jar today. I'm using my Bahong, I'm not sure if that's how you say it, paper, my Princeton #5 Velvet Touch, and Princeton Snap Round, and for maybe some long leaves at the end, maybe this dagger brush, this Master Touch dagger. So let's give this a whirl. It is, I see cherry blossoms popping up everywhere. And, sorry, trying to turn on my do not disturb. It's not working. Come on. There, okay. All right, so we start with this little jar at the bottom, and I've done this before. This is a stamp that I got at Michael's that I'll put a link to in the bottom, and I use the archival ink, the shadow gray. This doesn't seem to run. You can paint over it and it stays in place. So, and I think with this, usually I do very abstract. Oh, here we go. But I'm gonna do it a little more realistic on the flowers today, rather than just, I love doing the blobby abstract flowers. Those are a lot of fun. I may do another one like that. I should probably warm up with that and then do the more in focus ones, but I think, so I'm mixing up a bunch of quinacridone rose. It is Daniel Smith, Daniel Gray, and making it pretty watery because I want to start, there's such a delicate papery flower, and I want to start with them very light. And I think I'm gonna do the stick later. Well, first what I will do is I will wet, because I want the stick, or the stem, stick, it's a very thick on these. I want it to be a little blurry, as if it were underwater. So how I start that out, and you see I can go over this and it doesn't smear. See that? That's what I really like about these archival inks. They have them in all different colors, so they're kind of fun to do some multimedia type stuff with, in that they stay in place. Although, I mean, it's fun sometimes when they run, because that adds a whole different look. So it just depends on what you're going for. But I want this to kind of stay in place. All right, so now we're gonna start with, and these, I had seen many tutorials on these super easy like dot flowers. And so I do like, that might even be a little, you want it really very transparent. We'll start right here. And I'm gonna do the first, that might be way too transparent. Here we go, let's see. I'm even gonna, needs to have a little color in it. We're gonna go like this, 3 dots. And then you rinse your brush out. You want them kind of close to each other. I hope that's even dark enough. I sometimes I waver between going too dark or too light, but we do want them very light. Okay, good. So that's the first 3 petals. I'm going to add 2 after it's dry. Now we're going to go kind of go in between all of these. I'm going to put one here, but I don't want them to touch each other yet. So I want one there. I'm going to put one, maybe one over here. Leave some room in the middle there. 1, 2, 3. That one's going to be very light as well, which is good. I want to err on the lighter side rather than darker with these because they are so delicate. And I'm liking that. I wonder if they're too light, which these are not. You just put the dots down and then pull them out with your brush. If you feel they're too light, you can add just a touch on the inside. And I like to add a touch on the center as well. Now I've got like a darker plum color here, and you can put that, a little bit of that in there, or even a little purple, and it'll end up looking like the shadowy part. Pull that out just a bit of the flower. Okay, so now we're gonna do, let's see, I'm gonna go, the stick's gonna come up. Let's see, 1, 2, 3 here, maybe another little guy down here. One, a little bit more color there. And what you want to do when you're doing putting these down is you don't want the first set of them to touch. I think I had a little bit of that magenta in there, and you want to dip, clean your brush. That one is going to go under that one. I probably made a mistake doing that right there. Let's do this. I do not want to touch that other flower. It's going to mess it up. So I'm just going to kind of, should have been a little lower so that it didn't touch this, but maybe it's just, we'll say it's a bent flower petal. And the stick's going to come up here. Let's see, we'll do one up here where I want the flowers. 1, 2, 3. That one might be too light too, but again, you can always go add in, dip your brush, wipe it off. I can always come back in with a little color to drop in there. Let's see, add just a touch. Yeah, you want to be very err on the side of caution with these, real light, because they're these light, beautiful, ruffly flowers. All right, so let's see. The stick's gonna come up, and they kind of sometimes go over to the side. We'll go up, and now on the ends of the branches, they do a lot of times when they're initially blooming, they also have some little closed cute petals. So we're gonna do, we're coming up here, some little cute little buds, and also some little tiny flowers that are up here. And you can just kind of pull those out, put a little drop at the bottom there. And let's see. Okay, that stick's gonna go up and continue through there. I think I want another little we can do the sideways flower the same way, where you just pull out one petal, boop. And we also probably want to have a few little side-facing flowers. So you've got one, let me see. Oh, they all want to come in at the middle here. Now when you're left-handed, this is hard. I don't want to smudge what I've done, but rather than turning my paper upside down so you can't see it, I'm just gonna go like this, add a little bit here, maybe even make that a solid without that big. There we go, a little sideways one. And okay, let me feel this. Still wet. Okay, while I'm letting this dry before I go in with my next layer of petals, I think I'm going to put in, because this is a good, it's still wet enough where it's going to run a little bit. Might even be too wet. It's still glistening. Let's see. I don't know if I want to give it a little more time. Let's mix up some brown. I have, this is, can't remember what color brown this is. I believe this is a burnt sienna. And I want it even a little darker. So I think I will add a little Payne's Gray to that to really darken it up, because they're nice dark branches. That's part of the beauty of this flower, is the dark and the light, kind of. Now let's see. I do feel like that might still be too wet. Let's go like this. Yeah, that's running a lot. I'm gonna do, to start off, put in the top part of these branches and then come back in to run them down through the water. I don't want to touch that because it'll bleed into the flower. Yeah, that's still a little too wet there, but I'm gonna leave that there. A few more here, and we can do these up here. Now there's gonna be a flower there, so I was just about to put a branch there. I think I want to do maybe another flower in here. It's looking a little empty, but that's no fun. That's what you don't want to do when these are wet. Let's see what I can do here. You know what? No, I'm not gonna leave that. I will just tap it like this. Get that out of there. That's the risk you take when you paint too soon or you don't blow dry it, which I should have done, but I'm enjoying this too much, so I'm just gonna carry on like that didn't happen. And we've got that. We're gonna do maybe a little branch out this way. And I want it darker. They are thinner at the top, thicker at the bottom. And I had an art teacher once that said there are no straight lines in nature. That's still running too much, so I'm gonna let it sit. Do want a little bit of blur, but I don't think, well, no, that's actually looking pretty good, but not that much blur. So I'm going to put a smaller line in here and let it grow on its own to a thicker, and that'll thicken. There we go. Now that, not happy with that. That's okay. It's running like crazy. Now, what you can do, let's see. Sure, I can wait till it dries and wipe it out, or I think I could probably just pick up a little bit of this excess. I don't want, I need to fix this line up here because water is straight. And you can actually even just pull that over because the reflection of that will look like a line. And I don't know, do I want to just pull this up a little bit? Pull a little bit of the color out there. A little bit more. I'm going to let it dry a little bit and probably drop a little more brown in because this disappeared and I didn't want it to. But I don't mind the reflection-y. This isn't terrible because you want the reflection of the stems will, some of the color will kind of bounce off in the water there. That's, you know, the water reflects what's around it. So there, I'm not going to toy around with it too much. I'll leave this till it's a little more dry, but we will go back in and now do some more petals because these are almost dry enough. And I guess what's good about this good quality paper is it gives you a little more time to work. Let's see. Now, I don't even really, they don't need to overlap. Clean that out. A little water in there. That's, unless you're ambidextrous, there's always a side. It's a little more difficult. I'm going to put a little pink in there, a little pink in there, and let's see. I wanted to put another flower in here. I think maybe have it overlap on this one. So I don't know. Let's see. Maybe I'll finish this one and then overlap. 1, 2, and there we go. Pull this one up a little. There we go. Boom, boom. Okay. I'm really liking the cherry blossoms a lot. Now I have this, and this like darker pink that I don't know if I want to wait until it's dry. Let me see. I'm going to touch a little in here and see. And the other one is dry, so I kind of like that. It goes, you know, this middle part, but I don't want it to run that much. So I'm going to let it dry a little bit. Not bad. just depends on your personal preference. We'll see how far that runs. A little bit too much. Let's suck it back out of there. There we go. Because I don't want it just on 2 of those, but that's not gonna kill me there. Okay, 3 of them there. Let's go back in with the lighter. 1, 2. That one's still wet, but that's okay. Dip your brush. Pull this out here. I have enough here. Pull that out there. And, you know, this is kind of would, if the light's coming this way, kind of be in a shadowy area anyway, so it's not terrible. Drop a little bit of dark red here in the middle. Okay, and let's see. We're gonna do, it's pretty dry, the 2 leaves up here. That is gonna go behind there, and there we go. Little splatter there, go like this. And I will put a touch of color in there. Not too much. A little more in there. Okay, and let's see. Add a little more. That one's a little. Okay, let's see. Boop, 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 boop. What else do we want to do? Probably a few little leaves. And on here, maybe a little, mix up a little more. Although I probably have plenty of pigment in there. But we want a few flowers here. Flower here. 1, 2, 3. All right. Maybe we'll have it come in this way so the stem doesn't, I don't want the stem showing through there. I didn't do it the proper. Have that one be a little darker. Okay. Might be too dark compared to the other ones, but there we go. And let's see. What I want to do, maybe I'll do coming up this way, this stick. Little, make it a little darker. And you want a few stems coming off of there. Now I should have a flower here, or have the stem go up, or I can have a little leaf coming off of there. Maybe I'll do that. And this, I'll do one more little bouquet of flowers up here. I don't know if it's a bouquet, but got a bunch down here, maybe a few. Which way do I want those facing? I'll have another one. We're gonna go this way. 1, 2, and then do the other one a little shorter so it's kind of coming off of there. 1, 2, and this one, we'll do the third one, but we're gonna make it just a little short one. because I want it kind of turning the other way. There we go. We'll do the two little ones in there. We've got one there. Maybe we'll do a few of those cute little buds off of this stick. And another little one here. There. Okay. Maybe a leaf here, and maybe have this continue up and have nothing at the top except for stick, because it's kind of also a little prominent part. And I'm not going to put the little sticks in here while this is drying. These I could probably do without it bleeding. And I probably should use my thinner one. That's okay. Not picky. I'm liking the way it's progressing. I'm not unhappy with this. I'm liking the way the blossoms look. Now, let's see. Let's put a little stick going over here. And this one, what am I gonna do here? I should have, maybe I'll do another flower right there. I should have come all the way down behind this flower if I'm not doing other flowers. There we go. And now let's add, this is now a little bit better in terms of moisture for adding this under here, because it's still a little runny, but not as crazy. It's nice. This does dry nice and slow. It gives you a lot of working time. But the Blick that I use more often tends to dry a little quicker. And so different papers will do different things. Let's darken this even a little darker. So these are, darken this here. There we go. Few. Sometimes you can go crazy with twigs. Others, you shouldn't. I could go a little too crazy here, so I try to stop myself. I am liking the overall shape of this. Let's see. I do want a few more flowers. Where do I want? Maybe one right here. A nice, big, pretty one right here. Two. That looks very empty. And I'm not crazy about that big space in there. So a little drop of very light pigment, dip it in your water. That one is probably dry enough. Okay, and I'm gonna add a little there in the middle. Let's see. This one, I want it to be side facing, not with, it's gonna have a few more little tiny petals over here. There. That might not be perfect, but you get the idea that it's a side facing. Okay. Sometimes I drop on my paper. Okay, let's see. I'm really liking that. I wonder, no, some of these are okay to put in the centers. Let's see, I'm gonna do a little tiny buds there. And so now the centers are much darker, and I went back and forth between doing like a purple. First I was doing the purple, but I think the purple mixed with this plum is a little bit more accurate in terms of color for these. Now let's see. If I put this down like here where it's super wet, it's gonna run in to the whole flower. Whereas this one, let's see if I can put these in. Let's see, this one. I don't mind if it runs a little. And they're not real small, these little centers. Okay, we're gonna letting that one dry. Let's see. Might even want that a little more this magenta. That's looking a little too purpley there. Let's see. That might run into the other flowers. Let's see about this one. No. There we go. And I'm gonna wait on that one. These, I probably should have put a little of the darker color because they're not as translucent as the petals when they're open. So I'm just gonna darken those a little. These might still be wet enough to throw. They're not. So I'll just go. That. And okay, this one needs a few more petals. This one needs a few more petals. Go back into this. Make sure your brush is clean from the much darker color. Okay, this one we are gonna go, that one was kind of side facing, so we're just gonna do two little, I might just go right over it like this. And just add a few, just a little light. I'm gonna leave that. I kind of like, doesn't have to have all 5 petals showing. This is bugging me a little. I don't know. Let's see. Maybe I'll have to try to remove that, but let's do this. This is not attached to anything, which I frequently do. So what we're gonna do is go like that up here. Yeah, that's bugging me a lot, but it's gonna just have to, maybe I'll just put this in front and make it so this is behind here, because there was no fixing that. It's just gonna have to be behind there, and oh well. maybe I could put a leaf coming off of there to kind of rectify that. I don't know. Let's see. Let's go like this. We're gonna add something like this. I'm all about trying to fix mistakes. Now, the leaves can be kind of, let's do this green with maybe a little brown. Knock them back a little. Let's see. Let's see what I can do here. There. Now, maybe that seems a little more intentional. I don't know. I'll do a second one here. Come down like this. Add a touch of green in there. Boop, boop. There. Now, maybe it looks intentional. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know. Let's see. I don't know if... I don't want to put a lot of leaves on here because they don't usually have a lot of leaves. It's a lot of blossoms at this point when the tree is blossoming. There's not tons of leaves, so I just did that really to like fix an obvious problem, but I don't want it just in that one spot. So let's maybe come over here and put one more leaf coming off here. Drop in with a little green there. And I'll just leave, no, do another. Maybe like that. And possibly just one here. There we go. All right. I don't want to take away from the flowers. Now, we need to add a little more pink here. I know this video is getting very long. Some days they're short, and some days it's like, well, I feel like that should have a little more color in it. And let's see. Again, this direction with my hand is a little more difficult. Now see, I did that again where that is going right through it. That's okay. Live and learn. All right, let's see. I am going to add a little of this beautiful, now this one should be okay. Add some of this magenta center, and they're kind of they spread out. They do have little, I don't know if they're called sepals, the little tiny lines that come off of these with little dots on top. Let me add this. It's gonna go like that. All right, so I don't know if I want to use a pen or if I want to use my super thin. This might work for doing these little tiny lines. Let's see. Pick one of the drier ones. Now they have, and they're dark on top and almost a light color coming up. Let's see. We'll just do the dots. Let's start with the dots on here. And the more in bloom they are, the more bigger and open are these little dots that come out. Okay. Ah, I like that. Do a few go in this direction. And you want to vary it. You don't want it to be in a straight line. I kind of lost that petal there. No, I'll leave it. Go. And since this flower is straight on, this one's to the side, so you want them coming out here. These are straight on, so they go around. And on some of them, it's almost like a burst, a starburst that comes out from the flower. Like it's not a single line. I need to add a few in here, kind of vary it so it doesn't look like it's just a one single ring around there, but it's these real open ones are that starburst going. And this one, there we go. Okay, this one, we can't forget this little guy coming out this way. Boop. I seem to always forget one. Let's see if I can not do that this time. This one right in the middle. Could have easily forgotten that one. Now that's still wet, but in the interest of not making a 9-hour cherry blossoms video, I'm gonna move it along for everyone. All right, let's see. Now these should connect to something. Again, something that I always do. So let's take a look, talking to myself here, and work out the details of something that is obvious. This is not connected. I don't know why I do that. I think I just get so excited with what I'm doing that, okay, over here, I almost forgot this. And these actually can also be, they're kind of red. So let me go back in here and make these, they match the color of the cherry blossom. They're this beautiful plum color. Let's connect these all at the bottom here and make this plum. There we go. This also should be plum. Try to keep it a little consistent. I like it. I hope you like it. That's more important. And I hope, oh wait, one more thing, then I promise I'm done. A couple times I've done one and I get the message, you didn't anchor it. And anchoring it means I come down here with like a light blue or a light purple. I don't like to fill in the table that it's on per se, because I want the focus to be the flowers, but I do want to not have this floating in space, which if you don't put something under this, it is just floating in space. And you know, it would be fun to fill this in. Maybe I'll do a little splatter, just because, I don't know, it adds a nice little touch. Okay, so I'm mixing a little blue, a little purple, and I'm gonna make it a touch darker under here. Pull this out. There we go. And I kind of let it go to both sides, but you want it to be, maybe add a touch more here. Bring this through here. And then what I also actually want to do, because this is glass, is it's got to show through this as well. The bottom of this is going to be a touch blue. Touch of the blue. Now I wonder, do I want to... Sometimes I put a little touch of blue in here, just, you know, put a little color in the water, not a lot. Yeah, just kind of wipe that out of there. There. I don't like it to be completely devoid of color. All right, there. And yeah, so this is, maybe this will be like the second to the last cherry blossom that I will do. This is a more realistic version, and I love these easy 5-dot flowers that, you know, you can find lots of tutorials on them. They're very pretty. I hope you liked this. Oh, one more. Yeah, I'm just talking away. I don't know if I want to splatter. I think I'll splatter with the pink. Just a little though. I don't want to do a lot, but, and I don't want to do it too dark, but let's do a little, let's see. Well, that's a little, that's none. Let's try this again. You can get carried away with this too. You know, that actually is nice because there was a lot of white on this page. It just looked a little empty back there. Maybe I'll do, you know, I don't know if any of you get carried away. I do. Okay, I'm going to stop, sign it, and that's it. So these are your delicate cherry blossom. This is your delicate cherry blossom branch video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let's see, I'll pull it up a little bit here for you. And you can see a little closer. I love cherry blossoms. So I hope you give it a go. If you do, I also started a new Facebook group. I'll put it in the link below for you to share your work. I'd love to see the creations that you do at home in your studio. Have a wonderful weekend. Thank you for joining me. Bye-bye.